Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us on this day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nduta Wambura, and thank you so much for joining the Erasmus Days 2021 edition. I dare say good afternoon, Jambo, and in a little Portuguese twist, boa tarde. You may answer that much later, but thank you so much once again. I am the country representative for Kenya, and I am delighted to bring this edition to you today because Erasmus Days is one of the most interesting programs that happens within the Erasmus Scholarship Network. It was a program that was born back in 2017 in France during the 30th anniversary of Erasmus Scholarship Network. And so today, I am so delighted because we will be joined by the European Union ambassador.
To be put up here somehow.
All right, so today I'm delighted because we are privileged so much to be joined in by the European Union ambassador to Kenya, and she will be speaking to us about Erasmus as well. And we also have some current students who just began their Erasmus programs under the Master's Scholarship. So thank you so much once again. And my name, like I said, is Nduta Wambura. If you're joining us live on Facebook or on YouTube, welcome. And please feel free to send us any messages that you might want to have us know, and any questions that you might have throughout the session, kindly send them on the comment section. We want to hear from you. We want to know from you because this is a session for you. So like I was saying, my involvement with Erasmus began back in 2015 when, through my alma mater, Kenyatta University, as many of you may know, had this international credit mobility system whereby they were sending students to the University of Porto to study a fully funded master's scholarship. And gratefully so, I was the only student who was picked from that program. And since then, my life changed 360 degrees, I must say. And I have been privileged so much so to get a glimpse of the European culture across all the nations that I have been privileged to actually travel to. And that is the core of Erasmus, because when you come to study in Europe, you're able to also go and benchmark in other different countries. And with Erasmus Mundus scholarship for the masters, you're able to study in different countries, get to know the different cultures of Europe, at the same time getting a very high quality education for your master's program. And so I have been involved since 2015 through the Erasmus Mundus Alumni Association, which is, very, very much available right now for any current student and any alumni who would like to join. And so thank you so much once again for joining us. Once again, if you're joining us right now, please feel free to send in your comment, your question, and we want to interact with you because we want to have a very interactive session and celebrate the spirit of Erasmus in Kenya and beyond. And I would like to sensitize you very much so to join in with other students across the globe and across even the Kenyan country who have dared to apply for a program, who have dared to apply once, twice, thrice, until they got successful. And they have already gone through the program, and they are already currently going through the program. And you know what? There's a saying that goes, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things or opportunities you didn't take than by the ones you did. So thank you so much for joining this Erasmus Days 2021. And I do see that we have been joined by Her Excellency, the European Ambassador to Kenya. Thank you so much for joining us this this afternoon. Actually, it's morning for me, but it is afternoon for you. And we do have some students who've also joined us who are currently doing their Erasmus Master's programs. We do have Fred Rugeni and we have Sheila Akech. Fred is joining us all the way from Spain, and we have Sheila Akech joining us all the way from Porto in Portugal. And thank you so much for staying on. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce the European Union Ambassador to Kenya for her few remarks. And then we will have Fred Rugani, and then we will have Sheila Akech joining us for a few remarks as we go on. So thank you so much for staying on. Please tell a friend, tell someone to join this session and listen in with you and get some more information about Erasmus that would be beneficial to either you, your relative, your friend, your cousin, you know, all these people who would benefit from the Erasmus program. So thank you so much. And now over to you, Ambassador.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how pleased I am to have this opportunity to speak on Erasmus. I'm the new EU ambassador to Kenya. I just arrived at the end of August. And in my previous life, I worked in Brussels as director for People and Peace. And part of my responsibilities was to be responsible for the Erasmus program. And I'm so proud and honored to say that Erasmus reached millions and millions of people across Europe, but also across the globe. And what is so important is about Erasmus is that it's not only giving individual people, students, the opportunity of their life, but also that it connects countries and peoples across countries and continents. And in this way, it contributes to global understanding and peace. So I think Erasmus is a big peace project. It's maybe among the largest scholarship programs in the world. And I'm very proud to announce that the new Erasmus Plus, called Plus, 2021 to 2027, that's a 7-year time frame, doubled its funding. So most of the funding of Erasmus goes to support mobility programs. So scholarships are life-changing experiences. And I can tell you from my own experience, because I myself benefited from a scholarship in the past. That was a US scholarship called Fulbright. And this was certainly a life-changing experience for me. And I wouldn't know where I would be today without that scholarship. So this is why I'm a bit surprised that Kenyans are not taking more advantage of this fantastic opportunity. Most European universities nowadays offer full programs in English. So there's no language barrier, whether you want to study in the Netherlands, in Germany, in France, in Spain, or wherever. And the message I would like to bring to you is that Europe is open for academic business and is waiting for you. And Kenya has such fantastic young people with so many ideas, greatly motivated. So come in droves and apply for this scholarship. It's all expenses paid. You will get from our students a first-hand experience what it means to live and study in Europe. It's not only the academic exposure and the additional title you have for your CV, which makes you immensely marketable for EU Kenya business, but also as marketing opportunities or possibilities for jobs in international companies worldwide. But I think what is more important even than that is your exposure to the other cultures, the new friends that you're making. You will come back a different person. So I do think this is something that we want to encourage. I want to also have a very strong Erasmus Plus Alumni Association in Kenya and across the world. So when you're finished, you have a big network of people that you can draw on in job hunting, in mutual support, etc. So the new Erasmus Plus has a very strong international dimension. The Erasmus started in Europe. So nowadays, most European students can study at least 1 or 2 semesters in a partner university in another country. So this has become the norm in Europe rather than the exception. So somebody that goes for masters in Europe and hasn't been in another country nowadays is rather the exception than the rule. And we want, of course, that Kenya takes full advantage of this. This morning, I spoke to the minister in charge of ICT and youth. And I also mentioned that I'm doing this launching event for Erasmus and to encourage Kenyan youth to apply for this. And of course, we want to encourage very much that you apply for scholarships in the field of ICT, of green transition, clean technologies, climate change, and so on. Because these are priorities that we have jointly chosen, Kenya and Europe. And this is also the priority for our bilateral ties. So for us, it would be great if you specialized in these areas. But of course, it's free for all. So you study what you want. The new Erasmus is now also offering possibilities for TVET, but we will not technical and vocational training, but we're not going into that now. So, so far, whilst more than 10 million people have participated in Erasmus since its start in 1987, there's only a very limited number of Kenyans that have taken advantage of this. As far as we know and have numbers, as of March 2020, only 250 Kenyan students benefited from the Erasmus Mundus joint master's degrees, which, as I said, cover tuition, travel, and living expenses. So this is really an amazing opportunity. We are now in the new Erasmus also offering digital opportunities. So if you're not mobile or you need to work, that gives you the opportunity to stay where you are and still earn a degree abroad. So we hope that with this, we can reach a much larger population, also those who have the ambition, but not the opportunity to travel for whatever reason. The other aspect of Erasmus, but that's probably not so much pertinent to you, is that we are also fostering exchange of academicians, so the teachers, professors. So if you're already at university and your professor is no good, encourage him or her to come on an Erasmus program to Europe to sharpen their skills and get some further exposure. So there are many possibilities, but I would just like to tell you that also there's a cooperation projects for universities or youth organizations possible. So it's not only with individuals, but also with institutions or organizations. But we are here today basically to encourage you to apply or tell your friends or family to apply. When I applied for my scholarship, I was told there was a full big room of applications, of thousands of applications, and very, very few made it. With the Erasmus, you have much better chances to be selected. So go for it. I can only tell you, I would be very surprised if you were ever to regret it. Maybe you become homesick for a few moments, and I'm sure our friends here on screen will tell you all about it. But as I'm from my own experience, all the people I have met had a grand time studying abroad. So I will stop here. I can only say that from my point of view as new ambassador, I will do everything I can to facilitate and support you. Those who are still in the exchange, those who want to exchange, and those who already came back. So I want to have a nice reception at the residence for all those who are involved in the Erasmus. So we can foster that sort of alliance that you can support each other. I will stop here, and I'm very curious to hear the testimonies of our exchange students. Over, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for your remarks. I can attest for sure about the homesickness. So I felt a little bit homesick during my Erasmus, but for sure, it's a fantastic experience that you don't want to miss. So again, I would like to invite all of you who are listening from wherever you are, whether it's in Nairobi, wherever you are in this world, please interact with us on the comment section. We want to hear from you. Do you have any questions? Are you curious about what is this Erasmus that we are talking about today? And we want to have a very interactive session with you so that you can have all the information from this session. And so it is my pleasure now to introduce to you one of the students who was successful and is actually studying now in Spain, is doing his first mobility in Spain, and is going to have quite a roller coaster of opportunities across Europe. And Fred, I know it has been just 1 month since you arrived in Spain, or less than 1 month really, but we want to hear from you. How has your experience been? Please introduce yourself and tell us so far, how has your experience been? What are some of the tips and tricks that you would like to give to anyone who is listening into this session?
Good afternoon, good morning, buenos tardes. I am Fred Rugenyi. I am currently a student at the University of Barcelona, taking my Master's in Quality in Analytical Laboratories. I am actually 18 days old in Barcelona, and I can say it has been a superb moment. I am yet to get homesick, but the people, the culture, everyone is very warm. The awe, there's a lot of awe because you meet a lot of new stuff not seen. There's a lot of movement that you not like. Using the metro has been a great experience. Visiting the beaches, the university itself, the facilities, and the teaching fraternity. And I am also getting an opportunity to learn Spanish in school. So the experience is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I can so far say I'm still waiting for my homesick. Thank you.
That is fantastic to hear, Fred. And can you tell us which course are you studying? How did you get to apply for Erasmus?
So it is called the Erasmus Mundus Masters in Quality in Analytical Laboratories. So it is run by a consortium of 5 universities, which is the University of Barcelona, which is the host university for this year. The coordinating university is the University of Bergen in Norway. Then we have the University of Algrave and the University of Gdansk in Poland. So I applied for this early in the year in 2021 because I remember the deadline was in February. But the application process started way earlier in November 2020. So I started getting myself ready from November 2020 and completed the application in February 2021. And I got in, which was very nice. So the application process, the most important thing I would say for the application process is really to understand the requirements of the particular program you're applying for, because different consortiums have different approaches, especially approaches towards the write-ups you'll need to do and the evidences you'd have to provide to prove your credibility and eligibility to take the course, the English competency requirements, and either they might require you to have a personal statement and a motivational statement, or one of the two.
Absolutely amazing and fantastic opportunity. So, I mean, you are the epitome of that. It is possible for a person to actually come and study Erasmus, even within the COVID period, because that has been another question people are asking. Is it possible to travel to Europe and study during this period? And yes, we want you to apply. We want you to come and have the new normal. And as much as, you know, some different countries might have different, you know, structures of education, it is possible to come and study and go into all these countries that you will be going to. You mentioned Spain, you mentioned Germany, you mentioned Poland, all at the same time studying. So this is a fantastic opportunity. Thank you so much, Fred, for joining us. And now, one of my favorite students as well, Sheila Akech, joining us all the way in Porto. And I actually I'm an alumni of the University of Porto, and I love Portugal, as you may imagine. I live in Lisbon, Portugal currently. And so, Sheila, I would love to hear from you. You are studying one of the very new master's programs. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us, what are you studying? How has it been your, your experience so far, traveling with the metro, culture shocks here and there? Let us know. Sheila, please unmute yourself.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. And Tunduta, I'll say bon dia.
Bon dia.
Okay, my name is Sheila Akech. I'm currently doing a master's program. It's called the European Interdisciplinary Masters in African Studies. So this is the second cohort I'm part of. And initially, I had a Bachelor of Arts from the University of Nairobi, and that's why I lined my future master program on a master's in African Studies, because it is what I would love to do in the future, and also the passion for Africa is what made me do the studies in Africa. So I always get this question, why African studies in Europe? But I can say that it has been a very good experience. Now I have only 24 days, but the things and the materials I've been able to get have been very nice, and I've got to understand Africa from different perspectives, and also the people around me, because we are different people in the class, almost 10 nationalities that I wouldn't have gotten anywhere if not for this program. Yeah, so about the application, our program starts on the November, so it will start the 1st of November. That is next month. And what I can say to everyone who wants to be part of it is that you start early. Don't wait for the deadlines, and you prepare your documents and make sure that everything that you want that is required are in line with what you will provide. Yes, thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic, Sheila. Thank you so much for sharing that. And again, you are another epitome that it is possible to actually travel and come and study your master's program. And of course, put up your good application. And for sure, this is something that I have been preaching since 2020, since my mandate as a country representative, because I know that it is possible. It was possible with me, and I have seen students benefiting from this. And so that is the reason as to why I would like to go ahead and highlight a few other things. You might be wondering, so what is this Erasmus that you guys are talking about? How can I benefit? Is it a far-fetched idea and that kind of thing? So I would like to invite you once again on our comment section. Please go ahead and send in all those questions that you might be already having. And without much further ado, I just want to quickly share my screen for a short presentation about Erasmus. And I would love for you to interact with us. And I would like to, of course, be very open to you, and you can join us even on our Facebook group, which is the Erasmus Facebook, which is actually the Erasmus Kenyan chapter Facebook group, excuse me for fumbling. And you can definitely go ahead and join us and let us know what are your thoughts about Erasmus and all that kind of thing. So now I would go forth to sharing today's quick presentation. And like I said, you might be wondering, so how can I benefit as a person who is just listening and I want to apply for this Erasmus, and I want to ensure that I can get in. And let me see, I am just having a little bit technical issue with sharing my screen, but I should be able to share it in a bit. Okay. All right. But meanwhile, as I wait for the technicalities here, please feel free to go ahead and reach out to us. Once again, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you because this is a session for you. So now, like I said, I am an alumni of Erasmus, and I benefited from what we call an international credit mobility, which, that's a technical term for you, I would imagine, but it is a program that European universities come together to bring together a program, a master's program, and they collaborate together to ensure that students can go through the program for 2 years, which actually used to happen only within the European universities, but now it's a global thing, which is what I benefited from. So my alma mater, Kenyatta University, had a cooperation with Kenyatta University to bring students to come and study their masters, their PhD exchanges, and so on and so forth. But since then, Erasmus has evolved and keeps evolving every single time. And like the European Union ambassador mentioned, we do have a new Erasmus Plus chapter 2021 to 2027 with a very good funding. And of course, the focus now is going to be more digital education, will be more inclusive, will be more green, and all those good things that you've had before. So what is an Erasmus Joint Masters Program? Because now we will move from Erasmus Mundus Joint Degrees to Erasmus Masters Joint Programs. So EMJM, they will no longer be known as EMJD, they will be EMJM, but this is as we move forward for sure. So the Erasmus Joint Masters Program is an integrated curriculum between European universities. So which means that say, for example, a university in Porto, a university in Germany, another university in Spain, they come together and agree to bring together a master's scholarship and they form what we call a consortium. And the consortium usually is where you apply for, which means when you apply for an Erasmus Master's program, you do not really apply directly to the university. You apply to the consortium that is then going to process your application into the different universities that are participating in that Master's. So which means that when you log in into the Erasmus Joint Masters Program catalog, you will find several programs right there. And so when you click on apply, whenever you're ready, you've checked all your documents and all that kind of thing. When you click on apply, you're applying to the consortium directly, and the consortium is going to look at your application and then let you know whether you've been successful or not. And from there, if you are successful, then they will process your application to the different universities participating. So which means you get to have a chance of traveling across Europe as you study, as you benchmark, as you network, as you make friends, as you enjoy the European culture. And this is something that is one of the most unique things about Erasmus, which means that it's actually one of the largest, it's actually the largest scholarship network in Europe, really, and globally it's becoming one of the best programs that you can actually join in. So you have to be physically available to get that master's program. So currently we do need you to travel from Kenya to Europe. So that's another question that everyone asks about whether can I do it from Kenya remotely, but you need to come and see the European culture. So, you know, that's a great opportunity, right? So now we do have the new structure, of course, of the Erasmus Plus program, whereby we will have 3 key actions, which will be, connotated into the mobility, cooperation between organizations, which means that if any of you who is listening here is from a certain university, just like the European Union ambassador mentioned, you can let your lecturer know that you're able to come and benchmark within the European universities so that you can get to know a little bit more of how to do things a little bit different, and that kind of thing. And we also have policy development. Again, this is for organizations. And we will have 33 program countries and international activities all across the globe. Remember, the spirit of Erasmus is to support education, training, youth, and sports, and even beyond. And we do have, of course, the Tibet program that was mentioned here as well. So the new program is going to evolve into including centers of vocational excellence, and also, more European universities, and then the evolvement of the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters degrees into Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Program. So the D is falling off, and now we will have EMJM. So this is just but a nutshell, and this might hurt your head. I know you're wondering. So let's go to the good stuff, Jane. So now the 2021 call is open, and most of the scholarships have actually opened between the month of September, and they will have a deadline of January. Some of them February, depending. And we have on the catalog, so every single time when I mention to you, please go and check the Joint Masters Program catalog. You will find a total of 149 Masters scholarships, which are aligned right there. And in this year, 120 of them will be available for you to actually apply, especially because of the different structuring of funding. We have had a lot of restructuring during the COVID times. So which means that right now we will have 120 of them, which will be available for you to actually apply. And like I said, application is between September and January. So we are talking about this at the exact right time. And you know what? We share quite a lot of tips on the Facebook group. So please feel free to go ahead and join it so that you can get more tips about it. And this is a fully funded program, which means that your stipend is taken care of. You have your insurance covered. You have your tuition fees covered. You have pretty much everything, the travel costs covered. And you do not have to worry about, how to go about around Europe, because this is going to be facilitated. And again, it is very easy to go around Europe because there's the ease of transport with the new rail systems, and flights are also very, very affordable. So this is a thing that would be great for you. So applications would, all the application requirements would be available on each and every one of the websites that you would click on the catalog. So kindly go there, take your time, read through, see what is good for you, see what you can apply for, and you can actually apply up to a maximum of 3 programs. So you can go there and see which are the 3 programs that are best for me, and then go ahead and apply for those. And in case you have any questions, I am there to support you. The alumni is there to support you. We do have a fantastic program that we launched just the other day to mentor you through your application process, as well as the personal statements and all that kind of good thing. So please, again, the Facebook group, right? So once again, as I go on, I want you to ask any question again on the comment section. We will get into that as soon as possible. So there is no age limit with Erasmus. There is no background limit. You can apply to a maximum of 3 programs. You need to have an undergraduate degree. And although some programs may request for an English test, not all of them will ask for this English test, because again, you would be coming into a non-English speaking countries, some of them who might not require you to have an English test. However, very important is that all the programs will be carried in English, will be carried out in English. However, you do have the option of learning a new language. You can learn Portuguese, you can learn Spanish, French, German, and all these kind of things, which will make you have a higher stake of employability in the future, all right? So we have quite a huge range of topics that would be covered within the Erasmus Joint Masters programs, from aquaculture to fun things like wine tourism, to other things that, dance, choreography, cartography, food innovation, big data, public health. So there's a wide range of topics that are covered. So again, you might go on the catalog and find that some of the topics might look ambiguous to you. So please, again, read the fine print. Take your time to read the fine print, because some programs, as much as you might read the headline and then think that, oh, this is not for me, when you read the fine print, you might see that they are accepting, people who have a background in various, subjects, So please look into that. And then, of course, get on applying, check your documentation. Like we said, generally, you would need your undergraduate degree. You would need, first of all, your passport. So if you do not have a passport, please run very quickly and get your passport ready. And you would need your undergraduate degree certificate. You would also need to have your transcripts, a recommendation letter, and these are just general things that you would need for application. However, dependent on the program, please go ahead and check the eligibility requirements so that you are ahead of time and you're not rushing at the very last minute in January, just after Christmas. You're like, oh my God, I need to finish that application. And then you submit a low quality application, yet you had all this time. You're hearing this in October. So you have October, November, December. Don't wait until January 1st to make that application happen, right? And so this is a very short review of Erasmus, really. There's a lot that we can say. There's a lot that, we talk about every single day. Really, it is my pleasure as a country representative to just ensure that you are aware. You, your friends, your family, your relatives are aware that Erasmus is existing, and we need to get our numbers up. Like the European ambassador said, we have very low numbers in Kenya. And the reason as to why is because most people, when I talk to them, is they say that, hey, I have never heard about Erasmus. What is Erasmus? Why am I hearing this from other different countries? So I would like to appreciate the presence of the ambassador, as well as, appreciate the ambassadors who have really, been able to assist during this process. And, we have Ambassador Judy Wakongo, and we have Ambassador Luisa Fragoso, whom I'm very much in touch with every single time, telling them about these programs and ensuring that they can put out the word right there, to be able to have more students joining in every single time. So that has been my short presentation. Of course, I know that you have questions. Once again, if you have them, please, interact with us. We want to hear from you. Say hi to us, let us know where you're joining us from and what would you like to know more. And right now, I would like to invite the European Union ambassador once again to highlight a little bit of the facts and figures, and tell us a little bit going forward, what do you envision for Erasmus? Just in a few words, and then we are going to watch a little video, or maybe the video should come first, and then we will have her letting us know.
Tell us if you want to put the video first. The video, okay.
Okay, so I think we'll start with you, Lina Mkoji. You are a beneficiary of the Erasmus Plus.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to treat us here like a layman and a laywoman, and just take us from the very beginning. What is Erasmus Plus?
Thank you. So Erasmus Plus is EU-funded program, like you've mentioned, that's for education, training, youth, and sport. And it's open for anyone, like international, and anyone of any age can apply for, depending on what they want to do. So it's open for individual students, for bachelors on exchange, masters, and PhD. And there's opportunities for youth also, if you're in a civil society organization or a youth group, higher education institutions. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get to know about it?
It was quite random. Actually, I wanted to further my studies in tourism management, and so at this date in time, we usually go to the internet. So it's all about Googling and searching and searching. So I wanted something that would actually cater for my studies, for everything. I didn't want to ask my parents for anything. Because I come from a family of 4 kids, and I was thinking, okay, I'm the firstborn, and I'm thinking, okay, so how will they manage to keep me abroad? Because I wanted to just go abroad and still manage with the family. That's good thing with Erasmus, or something that you would want to know, is that you focus on mobility. So you don't study in one country.
Okay.
So my consortium had these 3 countries. So it was Denmark, Slovenia, and Spain. So I had to go to 3 universities, 1 in each semester. And then the last semester was focusing on my thesis. So you decide where you want to go out of the 3, or any other university that the program can actually organize for you to go, depending on what you're studying on.
What does it entail when you say to apply?
So applying, first of all, I would say you identify what you want. So depending on what you've studied before or what your interests are in. Good thing with some of these programs in the Erasmus Plus is that they're very multidisciplinary. So I'll take my program, for example, it's European Master in Tourism Management. Tourism management can have marketing, economics, political science, because if this and these countries are not, in good terms, you won't be able to travel, things like that. So we had many people who had studied many different things. So it was like multidisciplinary. But there are those ones that are very, very specific. So if you're not a doctor, you can't do the medical part of it. It's you have to know what you want, your interests, and then If you're doing your master's, you have to have done your bachelor's, of course. They don't have any specific grade. Like some people ask, do I need to have any, like a first class or, second upper thing? Most of them don't really check on this, but I would always advise people to go, when you go on this catalog, and I'm sure we'll provide the link for this, and you decide on the program that you want, please check on the requirements. So what I'm talking about is just the general part. So you need your undergraduates. Some of them require you to have, to show that you're proficient in English, like I did. I had to do a test, which was very stressful, but yeah, I had to do a test to prove that I can actually communicate and speak and understand English.
Are you kidding? You speak so well right now.
Yeah, but they wouldn't trust that at first glance,
Okay.
Yeah, and then a very good motivation letter to show why you're interested in the program, and I advise people to always show what they're contributing to the program, because sometimes some people are focusing on, I need the scholarship, I need this because I come from this background, but most of the time it's good to just say, okay, in as much as I'm in need of funding, this is what I'm going to bring to the program. So for me, it was diversity because, African, and then my experience because I had worked before in the industry and such things.
Okay, so obviously we've said that it's EU funded. What does that entail? Is this just for the schooling program, or they take care of you? Can you work when you're there?
So it's fully funded, meaning you don't need to do a thing. Yeah, it's fees, it's your upkeep.
Wow.
They give you a stipend to travel. So they give you a monthly stipend, which was actually 1,000 euros. If you translate it into Kenya shillings, it's more than 100K, yeah? So you check on your own accommodation because, So I'll use my personal example. We were going to Denmark for the first semester. Not most of us have been there. And so the university had a place for us to stay. But then you pay your own rent. So out of that 1,000, okay, you budget. My room is 300 euros. And then food, depending on you. For traveling, allowance was 3,000 euros in a year, which is like almost 350K to just see Europe and travel.
We need to
You know what that
revisit some
does
things.
for me, what I'm thinking? This is so good because you have no reason now not to
study.
Yes,
To focus on your
everything
study.
else is comfortable. You see, like the responsibility that you are taking away from your parents. Yes.
Yeah, so I didn't need to ask
For anything.
from them.
Does it provide online studies, the Erasmus program?
They prefer you go.
They prefer you go.
Yeah, they prefer you go because they want to make the program international. Europeans to mingle with the rest of the world. So it's mostly you have to be there. But right now, because of the pandemic, some programs have done like online, maybe a semester online, when it's like lockdown time or something, and then maybe when the restrictions are a bit better, you travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic words there from the former regional representative for East Africa, Lina Mkoji, who we started all this together at some point. And when she was studying, we used to talk about how we need to tell more Kenyans to actually apply for this. So thank you so much, Lina, once again for your kind words and for telling us, that we really do need to apply for this program. So I would like to take this opportunity to invite the European Union ambassador once again to tell us, moving forward, I know you're very, very, enthusiastic about this Erasmus spirit in Kenya, and it is a fantastic opportunity. I know you just came in Kenya the other day, so welcome, Karibu. And I would love to hear from you. What would you envision for Erasmus moving forward?
Thank you very much. I think there's not much to add. After seeing that video, the only thing that I can think of is that we very much need to inform the youth here in Kenya. The only reason why I can imagine that people are not applying is because they don't know about it. This is just such a fantastic opportunity. You heard, no worries, they take care of you. You get a monthly stipend, you get a fantastic travel allowance. I wouldn't know who wouldn't want to do that, especially maybe only those faint at heart that cannot envisage leaving their mom and dad behind. But whoever has a little bit of adventurous spirit and wants to see the world, most youth, I'm talking about my own daughters. I have two daughters. And when they finished secondary school, when they had the baccalaureate, the only thing they wanted is to escape home, go away, spread your wings. And this is what I would like to give to as many Kenyan youth as possible, that you can spread your wings, explore the world, get to know yourself and the endless possibilities you have to develop yourself. The EU is stretching out the hand, and you just need to take it. And I want in the next couple of months to make sure that as many schools and universities know about this, and that we can get it into the newspapers, into the radio, because I think the low uptake in Kenya is due to people not knowing about this. So this is my message. I would also like to see how we can activate the digital component. So as I said at the beginning, there are some people who would like to travel but who can't for whatever reason. So that also those get a chance to get an online degree, and maybe later there is a chance for them to go out. And as I said also, let's not forget the lecturers and the professors, because the better the professors, the better the experience is to study in your own country. So that has also an impact on how the EU can support those who cannot leave or get an online degree for whatever reason. So this is my commitment to you. And we have also staff here in the delegation that can help in terms of giving further orientation if needed, or if you encounter any difficulties. And it's always good to look to those who already are in the experience. So the students that are here today, I'm sure will be happy to give you a sort of orientation or further mentoring if needed. And I would be so excited if we get a much higher uptake this year, because this is too good an opportunity to let pass. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I would like to echo your words. For sure, we need to put a word out there, and I would love to have our alumni, already existing alumni, as much as we are a small number, we would like to get the word out there, because we've been through the program, we've seen the benefits from it. So like I keep saying, let's share the word out there, whether it's on social media, whether it's from person to person. And thank you so much for supporting this cause, of course. And we would love to have you more joining us in future sessions, definitely, 100%. Now, without further ado, I would like to go ahead and answer a few questions that I've seen already. And I would like to also invite some alumni that I do see here, right? We have Sheila and we have Fred, and we also even have Lina Mkoji, who's joined us as well. So please feel free to answer any one of these questions. And some of the generic questions that I have had is, what is it like to study in Europe post-COVID? And I think this is a question that can be really answered very well by Sheila and Fred, who are right here with us. So Sheila, if you can take the floor, what is it like to study in Europe right now? Because you're already, in Portugal and you started your studies in September. Can you tell us a little bit, what is it, has it been like? What was the travel process and that thing? Sheila, if you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, first of all, I was afraid of coming to Europe because of the uncertainty and all that. So I was not sure if COVID is still a menace but coming here, it has been really different. All the precautions are being taken care of. You have to wear a mask. When you are in a crowded place or in the classrooms, you have to wear a mask. And also about the vaccine, almost everyone here has a vaccine. So it's a bit safer to be in Europe right now. And everyone here also is cautious. So it's not like it's going to spread the way it was in the beginning. So because everyone is now has information and how to take care of themselves, how to have the precautions. So it's a little bit safer as well. I wouldn't say that it's something that can make you not apply. Do the applications and everything will be well. Yes.
Absolutely, that is good to hear. So you were afraid at first, but now things look so easy. So you're like, oh
Yeah.
wow, that process took a minute to happen, but here you are, right?
Exactly. If I had let fear drive me, I would not have had this opportunity. So dare to take the opportunity and dare to risk. It's worth it in the end.
Amazing. And I want to hear from Fred quickly, if you can tell us, how has your experience been post-COVID?
Good afternoon once again. I think it has been the best time to come to Europe because almost everybody is afraid, and as long as you fulfill the pre-requirements for the COVID precautions and the requirements to enter a country, you're good to go. Locally, everything is very good. The vaccination rate is at 80%. Following the WHO recommendation of social distances, good aeration, and masking, life is going on as normal. And I think for everyone, probably this is the best time to apply because in every crisis, it creates opportunity. So I'm assuming if 50 or 60% of the people who have heard about Erasmus are afraid around the globe, then that means your chances of also getting in get higher because you are taking the plunge and taking advantage of the crisis that is there to create an opportunity for yourself.
Fantastic message that you have, Fred, really, that people should not be afraid of applying even right now. And what I keep saying is that even if you do not get in the first time, you can definitely apply for a second time. Personally, I didn't get it the first time, and so I applied for the second time and got in. And so you can apply for as much, as many times as possible every single year. What you need to ensure that you look at on the catalog is the period within that program is funded. Most of the programs always renew their funding. So you have the opportunity to give it a shot, 1, 2, 3 shots until you actually get in. So fantastic message right there. And in the interest of time, of course, I would like to take some other few questions that I see on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook. And even if you're watching this much later after we have recorded, please feel free to reach out to us with any question that you might have, right? We are right here to answer them for you, to clarify pretty much everything that you might be, wondering until now. And so one of the questions that we've had is there any age limit? There is no age limit, like we have already said, that, it does not matter how old you are, In fact, a fun fact is that the oldest Erasmus applicant was 66 years old. Would you imagine? That's the oldest Erasmus applicant. So, I mean, really, there's no age limit, and you can imagine by 66 you're retiring or something of the sort, but hey, you can still apply for it and get it. So other questions were, when are business courses open for masters? We also have, is the University of Copenhagen part of the program? Yeah, so we have some business courses open for masters, so please feel free again to check out the catalog. There is one of the fantastic programs that I know, known as Global, and as much as you might not see the connotation being an MBA, then you can definitely go ahead and apply for it. And before I can answer any question, I know that the European ambassador would like to leave. So thank you once again, immense thank you so much for joining us. And I do hope to meet you in person finally, as much as we have this new norm of having things on Zoom. But I would love to meet you and talk about Erasmus more in Kenya and see what we can do. So thank you once again. I don't know whether you want to say a few words or, before you leave, but.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And I'm very happy to see so many motivated young people. The best thing you can do and the best present you can give to me is to make the most out of your experience, to come back and be future leaders in your country. All the best to you, and apply in droves. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Asante. Thank you so much. Already, so we will proceed over to just the last few questions. And once again, like I said, if you're listening to this or watching this much later after we have had this session, again, send in all your questions. We are here as alumni, we are here as current students to assist you throughout the whole process of Erasmus application. It's one of the easiest processes that you can go through to apply for your scholarship. So the last questions that I had was, is the University of Copenhagen part of the program? Now that is a loaded question, so it depends on the program that you're looking to apply for. Like we mentioned before, the Erasmus Joint Masters programs are usually, carried out through a consortium. So the consortium is a combination of different European universities who have come together to bring, into process a master's program. So it depends on whether the University of Copenhagen is participating in a certain program, and which you can check online. I do know that we have some students who actually went to a university in Denmark, and I know that there are several programs that usually have a mobility in Denmark as well. So you can check on the catalog to find out whether this is actually happening and whether you can apply for that program, and of course get to have an advantage of maybe studying for 6 months in the University of Copenhagen or any other university in Denmark. So please feel free to again check the catalog. I cannot stress that enough. Another one generic question, which I would love for either Sheila or Fred to answer right here is, how is the Erasmus Scholarship carried out, and do I need to separately apply directly to the university? Fred, do you need to apply to the university directly?
No, you apply as a single application. It is an MCAL application, and then they close that. Then you can apply for the university. But you do the application, the same application you use for the scholarship is the same application that goes to the university for the current program I am in.
Right. So usually, generally, you don't have to apply, separately. Like some of the scholarships that you have, you apply for the scholarship differently, and then you have to get an admission letter directly from the university. Correct? Fred or Sheila?
Yes, the application is one single application. And the most important thing is to get all the requirements ready, because like for my program, I only had one opportunity to make the application. Once I logged in, I had to log in and finish the application within one session. But different programs have different requirements. Some give you a timeline of 42 days, but the application is one.
Absolutely. And Sheila, for you, it was the same. Did you have a certain limit of logging in into the session, 42 minutes or however many, hours or days did you have to apply?
No, not really. Mine was a bit relaxed, I can say, compared to other applications. So you just prepare what they require. You look at the eligibility, prepare the documents, the passports, the motivation letters, your CV. And once you are done, you just log into their site, make all those applications, do the attachments, and you are done. So what you have applied is what the University of Porto and all those other universities that are a part of my program will use for admission. So yeah.
Absolutely. So I think the message is very clear. The one other question that I always get is, when is the application period? The application period begins from September, and most of the courses will begin opening all through to December, with a deadline of January or February, depending, of course, on the structure of the program. So this is the most fantastic time to actually take advantage of studying the catalog, studying the eligibility requirements, making sure that everything is in order, ensuring that you can join in our mentorship program that we have to sensitize you and to give you a kick, to go ahead and apply for a good, make up your good personal statement, write the correct words. When they say the word 500 words, it's not 700 words, it's not 1,000 words, it's exactly 500 words. How not to use flowery language, how to have the correct, the correct format of your CV, because when you come to Europe, most of the courses would need you to have what we call a Europass CV format. So this is one of the other things that you also need to understand. And so this is the reason why we have the Facebook group community, whereby we sensitize you on all these kind of things. I tend to also do quite a number of sessions for different programs, so you can definitely watch in and listen in and tag your friend, tag your relative, tag everyone else who you think would be able to actually take advantage of this. So one other question that I have is, can someone apply with a diploma certificate for a degree course? Then can someone apply for a different field other than the one he has specialized in? And yes, so now, the main requirement here in this case is an undergraduate certificate. So if you do have a diploma, let me see, I do hope I understand your question, Brian. So if you have a diploma certificate, or whether you have a university undergraduate certificate, which that you have, but yes, you can apply for a different field other than the one you specialized in, especially if you show that your experience, either your volunteer experience or your work experience, is relevant and congruent towards that particular program. For example, we have a current master's in European law and economics. And they say, yes, that, of course, the priority is going to be given to people who've studied law. However, if you show that you have been involved in understanding economics and law during your job process and your experience process, then you could possibly stand at a chance of getting into that program. And you have to stipulate this on your personal statement or your motivation statement. State it very clearly that, hey, as much as I have this background, I have been involved in ABCDE over this period of time, and I do think that I qualify for this program. So the thing to do here is to ensure that you have a very good quality of your application so that you stand at a good chance. Remember, this is also a very competitive program. Erasmus is competitive for sure, but then again, most of the applications that we get really might be lower quality just because maybe you just, did your application in a very hurried way. So you did not pay attention to your personal statement. You did not pay attention to the exact documents that are required for you. So these are some of the things that we are trying to ensure that we empower you on so that you can get to have a very good application. So I do hope that I answered your question, Brian, and feel free to reach out to me, obviously, in case you do have any other question about that. So I don't know whether we have any other questions, but I know in the interest of time, I would like to thank the team, the European Union delegation team. We have Beatrice, we have Solomon, we have Angeline, who've been working in the background really to make sure that Erasmus Days 2021 Kenyan edition happens. So special thank you to you for taking the time off and taking the time to ensure that we have all the technicalities and all the logistics happening. I really do appreciate it. Erasmus Days, just to remind you, is a global event that happens within a span of 3 days. And usually this is to spread information and lessons learned in the education, training, youth, and sport projects that are part of Erasmus programs that is European Union funded. So it is usually a time to discover the experiences of others and to also forge forward through sensitizing prospective beneficiaries to actually apply exactly what we are trying to do. So Erasmus Days was born in France in 2017 and has been on since then. And this is the 4th edition of Erasmus Plus. And we will be back next year to ensure that you can be able to actually get more information and we can grow our Erasmus community really so that we can be able to have an impact within the Kenyan country. So once again, thank you so much for joining this live session, wherever you are. If you are joining it much later, this video is going to be recorded and will be watched either on the European Union Facebook page or the European Union YouTube page. So please feel free to head over there, share it with someone, listen in, all the good things. And thank you once again, a special thank you to the ambassador of Kenya in France, Ambassador Wakongo, and we also have Ambassador Luisa Fragoso, the ambassador of Portugal in Kenya, who've been very instrumental and also very helpful in spreading the word about Erasmus. And thank you so much for you who have joined us. And to the alumni and the current students, I cannot say how grateful I am to see this day happen and to, of course, forge forward and look forward to seeing the Erasmus spirit growing. My name is Nduta Wambura. I'm the Kenya country representative, and I'm happy to represent you in the Erasmus world and to ensure that you have all the right tools to apply. So without much further ado, you have a good evening, good afternoon, good morning if you're watching this in the morning later. And hopefully I will see you on the other side in Europe. Please apply. Thank you so much. Have a good one.